Okay, so you want to work out what's the best attack I can send. There's a lot of different variables. You've got different heroes, you've got different marches, you've got critical versus mixed march, you've got your dragon, and you just don't know. So many questions and it's so hard to test. This video will take you through how to test out your perfect march to ensure that you're sending the best heroes, your best team, for your best results. The Amazon App Store can get you up to 20% discount on all your spending on King of Avalon. Check out this video here for the details. Have you ever been in the Royal Arena and you've attacked somebody once, you've attacked them twice, you've attacked them 3 times, not changed a thing, and then on the 4th attack you win? How on earth did I win? Simple answer, it's that variability, that the exact same troops can give you a massive variance every single time, which makes testing so difficult. If you're twice as good one time, half as good another time, how do you know if you switch out 5,000 troops that the difference in your kills is due to those 5,000 troops, or whether it's just that massive variability? So the most important one, critical hit, it can make a massive difference. So I've been attacking Jade earlier this morning, and if you check it out here, troops lost 520, 1533. Now if we go to battle details, this is where you can see where that critical hit's having its effect. Here I got 29,000 extra damage from my critical hit, and they got nearly 100,000 difference. So let's check that against the next report. So here I got 37,000 and they got 94,000. You can see that kind of variability is going to make your results vary huge amounts. So how do you deal with that? You make sure that you're not using a critical march. So even if you want to use an exact number, you want 200,000 of these, 100,000 of those, fine, do the exact march that you want and then deduct one troop and add it somewhere else to make sure you're sending at least 7 different types of troops in your attack. Now you've got rid of that massive variability on your side. Now if you're lucky, you might find somebody here in the Royal Arena who doesn't have Undying Oath, isn't using it correctly. If you find that, awesome. Now you've got a brilliant chance to test your march against somebody who hasn't got that extra amount of variability. So what else varies your attacks to make you get different results with the same troops? Well, heroes themselves. Now check them out, different versions of the game, Lunar and Solar, they've all got slightly different skills, but they all have the same components. Now that is some of these heroes. Kiara's a good example in Lunar. She has the ability here, let's click on her unique skill, where she can shoot an additional wave of 2 to 4 arrows when they attack. If she's only firing 2 instead of 4, that's going to make a massive difference in what you're going to do on that attack. So if you're not testing your heroes, don't put them on the march. Just don't have any heroes at all. If you want to test the march, as in the troops you're sending, send those troops. Do not send a hero or your dragon. Get rid of anything that can make a difference. Remember, you need to lose. If you don't lose, you only get 1 attack. You can't test your second version against the same player. So in the arena here, find somebody you're going to lose against. If you have to, you can take out your heroes and reduce the size of your march, and then just to make sure, if you can't find anyone you're losing to, just make sure that you're losing. Now when you're doing these attacks, now that's the key point, what are you testing? Scientific principle is pretty clear on this. You should only have 1 variable tested at any one time. So everything else should be controlled. You should try and keep everything the same apart from the one thing you want to test. So if you're testing heroes, keep the troops the same as far as possible. Now there is one wrinkle on that one. These heroes here, these are infantry heroes, which means you should have more infantry in your march to get the most value out of them, whereas if you had a cavalry set of heroes, you want to have more cavalry to make the most of that special skill. So you are going to have to change your troops. If you've done your first test with exactly the same troops on both and the results are ambiguous, then add some extra cavalry for a cavalry hero, add some extra infantry for an infantry hero, run the same tests again. Now it's not ideal, but it does give you an idea on using your hero's strengths. So let's say we're testing our march now, so let's just get rid of our heroes, they just add complexity. Other thing about the march is some types of troop actually have their own special ability that is based on chance. So if you can get rid of those troops, that's really helpful. So certainly when you're testing heroes, if you can test the heroes with a march where these types of troops aren't there. Good example, crossbowmen, increased attack against spearmen. That's consistent. You can use crossbowmen. But archers, they have a chance to attack the enemy cavalry directly. I mean, sometimes they'll attack the cavalry, sometimes they're going to attack the frontline troops. That's a big difference. So if you're running a test on heroes, try not to send any bowmen. Same thing when you're looking at the cavalry. Don't send any light cavalry if you can. You're testing your heroes, you're not testing your troops here. So light cavalry, they have a chance to attack the enemy bowmen directly instead of that front line. Now you might ask, why do I keep talking about the front line? Check out this video here. This is a breakdown of how the troops fight, how battles are actually run in the game. Really important background knowledge so that you can do this right. So that video will give you that really great information about how these different troops fight and why that hitting the front line is so different to attacking the bowman directly. Very powerful skill. Okay, so let's run some tests now. I'm going to do a march test. So to do a march test, critical points. Remove your crit if you can. Remove their crit too if you get that opportunity, but in this case I don't. That's a shame. So I'm going to do 150,000 infantry, 150,000 cav, 150,000 bow. Now if I did this march, apart from the fact it's got no lower level troops, and yeah, lower level troops will give you a better result. You shouldn't just have top tier troops. You should have 6 different tiers wherever possible if you're doing a crit march. But let's ignore that just for right now. What I want to tell you is that will activate your crit. So how do you get rid of the crit? You need to add 7 types of troops to your attack. So let's add 1 more of each of these. It will make very limited difference, and if you do that same set of extra troops each time, it will balance itself out. I've now broken my crit. I've now got 4 types there, 3 types there, 7 different types of troop, no crit. I'm going to get much better data from this. So don't forget to remove those heroes. And the dragon I don't think has any variability, but it's up to you if you want to remove it just to potentially avoid a conflict. So let's try that first attack. So 450,000 versus 2,083. I've lost my entire march and they have lost only 2,000 odd troops. So let's try another one. Remember, remove those heroes. They put them back on. That's not great. 2,795. Now if we're checking for the different marches, my theory is that you should have more infantry. So let's change that 150 to 175. And then you need to remove troops from somewhere else to balance that out. So let's remove 25,000 of these. And we're back to exactly the same number of troops. Get rid of our heroes again. Let's send that march. So you can see now with that extra infantry, that first attack, 3,587. Let's try again. You should take 3 attacks with one of your marches, 3 attacks with your other, and if you're willing to wait and come back a few hours later, then you can do 6 marches with one, 6 the other. The more data you have, the better your information is going to be. Let's get rid of those heroes. $3,956. Now let's do one more. Get rid of those heroes. 2,338. Now you take an average of these figures and what you're going to get a much better idea if those extra troops are having an impact or not. So let's check out the numbers and see, did that testing reveal anything interesting? And here it is. I did 2 marches. I'd already spent 1 march doing something slightly different, and 150,000 of each type. So I used 175,000 infantry, 125,000 cavalry, and the same opponent. I lost my full march every single time. That was the plan. Now this is the interesting one. How many did they lose? So 2,083, 2,795, 3,539, 2,338. Now more data would be better, but from this data alone you can see that I was losing a difference of 447,000 rather than my march with the extra infantry minus 446. So that means I'm killing an extra 855 troops on average each time from having 25,000 more infantry, 25,000 less cavalry. You can see this kind of testing here. More data better, but this data here strongly implies that having extra infantry is going to help you out in future battles. Run your own tests, keep your own figures. This is how you can work out your best approach. Try it against different players on different days as well. You'll find a player who's got more infantry, less infantry. They will affect your results as well, but the more you test, the better you're going to know your army. Learn more, win more. I'm EnglishTim. Thank you for watching today. Check out this video here. It takes you through getting your best PvP march, combine it with this testing, and what you can do is identify the best approach that you can take to win the most battles.